Hey everyone, it's Gina. You're listening to Seer Sessions. Today's episode is the beginning of a 3-part hypnotic journey series on letting go, completion, and creating real emotional space for the version of you that's rising next. Before we go deeper, I want to share just a few updates. My very last round of one-on-one single sessions has been filled. I'll be working through those sessions over the next couple months, and then I'm creating a deeper, more intentional container for us to connect, explore these journeys together. In early 2026, I'm opening a brand new community where we can talk about hypnotic journeys, your experiences, your questions, hear from other people in the community about their experiences and questions. For the last several years, I've had a membership group and I love the community, the conversations. If you're anything like me, my everyday life is really filled with people who kind of think this stuff is a little odd. Less and less, but it is true. And so it's kind of nice to have that online community. If you want to join that or the opportunity to work with me in the future, make sure you're on my email list. I open up everything to the people on my email list first. Most offerings fill just from that. Okay, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about letting go. There are so many ways that we can let go of something. I'm going to give you a few opportunities in this series of hypnotic journeys. I'm talking about releasing old patterns, the way you used to be or do things, ways you used to hold yourself together or soothe yourself, things that maybe even helped you survive. There's a lot that goes into the idea of simply letting go. And with that, I'm going to walk you through the 3 hypnotic journeys in this series and why I created them. And then at the end, I'm going to read you a message from my higher self about this idea of letting go. I want to begin with a story. It's the end of the year. A lot of us look back on it. And if you're anything like, I love my life. And still, I'm always like, bring it on. I'm done with this one. Let's get the new one. But there is nothing more that I love this time of year. Sit down and get clear. Get clear about what I'm leaving behind and what I'm taking with me. And this idea of letting go is messy. Let it be messy. It does not feel easy. What we can do is use hypnosis to gain all kinds of clarity so that when we are experiencing something that's uncomfortable or difficult as we transform into the person that we want to be, we can know we're headed in the right direction. With that, I'm going to give you a little snippet of what I did to myself in the year of 2024. I came into 2024 just really sick of some shit. I was in the part of transformation where you can see what you need to transform, but for whatever reason, you're still creating new ways, new patterns, new habits. And so for me, I was really at a space where I was like, I am seeking full ego death. This is the year. This is the year. This shit that I've been putting up with, this shit that I've been avoiding, this is the year. And so I did many things in 2024, and I will tell you more about them in the future, I'm sure. But for this story, I'm going to tell you about just my journey with ayahuasca. Okay, so the year was 2024. A year that was, in many ways, the climax of like a 5-year unraveling. So like I said, I was searching for many different things to expand me, to make me endure, just to push me physically, mentally, spiritually. Ayahuasca was one of the things that I wanted to experience. Both times I went into those experiences thinking I was going to get clarity about what's next. What does it look like? Who exactly do I need to be if she's different than where I'm headed? Basically, the next version I wanted to step into, I wanted it to be crystal clear. Even though I always had a vision, I was riddled with self-doubt. Didn't trust myself. Those things held me back and drained my energy for so long. So I was seeking clarity, but what happened? I was shown what needed to be released. Not because it was wrong, not because it was bad, not because I was wrong or it was bad, but because it was complete. Anytime we do these spiritually, energetically, emotionally, mentally expanding activities, it's a mirror. And not the flattering kind that's like at the perfect angle where you're like, I had no idea that my legs were that long. But the kind that shows you where you're emotionally curled up, clinging, carrying more than you need to. And in those ceremonies, there was a part of me that just sat back and watched myself. It was like a Rolodex in front of my third eye. This is how life works. This is why all these things happened. This is how you're going to make the most of it. It was like every question I could have ever had was answered and then put on a Rolodex and just spun around my third eye. And it was like, I get it. Like, I can't talk about it. I can't put it into words, but like, it's in me. I get it. How can I slowly let this ooze out of me? In addition to that integration, that processing, that really understanding, reflecting on my life, I saw myself and how often I took responsibility for things that had nothing to do with me. I saw the way that I anticipated everyone's needs before I even examined my own needs. I saw these old survival patterns, hypervigilance being one of them, and I saw exactly how I was working on them, why I wasn't getting past them completely, and how they were still running in the background, stressing me out physically and mentally. And it wasn't like dramatic, it wasn't cinematic, it wasn't a burning bush moment. It was quiet clarity. Letting go didn't feel like pushing something away or setting something down. I mean, I wish. It felt like realizing I was still death grip holding on to it in ways I didn't know. It felt like turning and facing a different direction. It felt like an expanded awareness to see that I was still gripping and that there were other choices. But I was unaware of these parts of my life where I was still gripping to these old patterns. And that's the thing about letting go. That's the thing about the subconscious mind. We don't see it in the present moment. When I look at where I'm at today, I like where I live. I love my relationships. I've got a great job. I have clients who treat me with kindness and respect. I have a physically strong and healthy body. I have a ton of energy. None of this came from adding more to my life. It came from letting go of old relationships, identities, emotional patterns that drain me, letting go of people who wanted me smaller, letting go of versions of myself who were too afraid to be the person who I want to be. Letting go is how I came to this part in my life, to this person who I am. That's why I'm bringing you these hypnotic journeys. Letting go is a key part in being able to grab onto or make space for the things you truly want. These 3 hypnotic journeys walk you through the process of completion, clarity, and emotional reset. Okay, so our first one is A Journey to Another Lifetime, episode 246. This journey is all about softening the grip you've had on old identities, ones that were maybe once necessary, maybe even ones you wanted, but not anymore. In this past life version, you'll experience a life where you're embodying and living something you're ready to master in this life. You'll explore questions like, why were you shown this lifetime as a mirror for what's complete today? What strengths did this other version of you already master? And how can you bring that into your life today? How does this other lifetime show you that today in this lifetime, you're actually further along than you thought? And then I ask, what simple mindset shift would help support this next season of your life? And then, of course, we end the session with, what are your next steps in getting more aligned and embodying and amplifying these strengths? So this isn't about forcing anything. It's about recognizing completion. The hypnotic suggestions in this journey in particular will help you feel lighter simply because we're allowing your mind to clearing out old patterns, closing those emotional tabs that are open in your brain. This will help you let go with clarity and self-trust, no pressure, no shame, no needing to explain yourself. And with each of these hypnotic journeys, you'll get some additional journal prompts that you can use afterwards, just to write for a few minutes to capture the experience and really anchor in the insights, the perspectives that you get on these hypnotic journeys. The second hypnotic journey in this series is episode 247, What Your Higher Self Wants You to Leave Behind. This journey is really for that person who has changed internally, but their external world has not recognized that yet. Their external world is still the world they built before they changed, before their awareness expanded, before they spiritually awakened. However you describe these shifts within you, as we grow and evolve and we heal and we expand our awareness, sometimes things in our life naturally need to change. We are always growing and changing, and every day we create our life. So this hypnotic journey is the complete package in that process. Your higher self will show you what shifted this past year. What strengths did you gain? What did you outgrow? What do you no longer need to carry? And how to stay connected to your intuition moving forward. This journey is so validating. Anytime I have an experience with my higher self, reflecting on my life, when I go to my higher self with a question of like, how can I make this shift when there's friction between my internal world and something in the external world, I'm always fascinated by the expansive insights that I get from my higher self. And so that's why I infuse those questions into this journey, because they're really what helps me when I move through something like that. Another reason why I asked your higher self to reflect on the last year is because so often we don't see our own growth until someone else points it out to us. And seeing our growth builds self-esteem, confidence, self-trust. It helps us let go of the past even more because we see that we've evolved. It's very important. The hypnotic suggestions in this journey will help your body recognize what's complete and release it naturally. And again, the same is true here. For this hypnotic journey, I have journal prompts for you to use when you come out of the hypnotic journey. Grab a pen and paper, quickly just write down what your experience was, reflect on the journal questions, anchor even more insights, wisdom, perspective shifts into that session by journaling at the end. It's also a really great way to strengthen that connection to your higher self and see that even outside of trance, you have that connection. Okay, hypnotic journey number 3 in this series is a nighttime journey for an emotional reset and subconscious clarity. This journey is your exhale. Exhale the year, exhale the holiday, exhale the bullshit. This hypnotic journey will help you unwind, release, soften, and let the year just fall away. There is really something magical that happens when you let your subconscious mind work while you relax, hovering just above that sleep state. Specifically in this journey, you're going to get hypnotic suggestions that will help you release the weight of the year. Soften in your body and your nervous system. Let your mind close old loops. Connect with a future version of you. Feel that clarity more and more every day, all creating space for a new cycle, a new chapter in your life. This one is meant to be listened to every night for 30 nights. Because here's the thing, letting go, making a change, it's a rhythm, it's a pace, it's a habit. It's something that we do over and over. And these hypnotic journeys where you listen every night for 30 nights, build this within you layer by layer every day. And this specific hypnotic journey is designed for you to use your body, your mind, and your soul to allow you to remember the easy rhythm of letting go of things that are not for you, things that have been completed. These hypnotic journeys all work together. They move you from completion, clarity, to emotional reset, and to the next version of you. Letting go isn't about abandoning anything or forcing anything. It's about honoring what's already complete because you're headed in a new direction. All right, now I want to share something with you. I sat down with my journal, tuned into my higher self, and asked, what else can I know? Something a little bit deeper about this theme, letting go. Okay, so the way I wrote it in my journal, this is the actual question I asked. What can I know or remember about closing a chapter? All right, here's what my higher self said. Don't think so much as closing a chapter. Think more of it as leaving something behind or a time to pivot. Much time is spent waiting, as you know, my higher self calling me out. We've had many discussions about how much time I've wasted waiting for something when there's plenty of action I could take or should take if I want to go where I say I want to go. Okay, so much time is spent waiting, as you know, and we need more time in action. I know. Thinking of closing a chapter or letting go can feel misleading. Like we do one thing, like decide, and then we get frustrated when it takes effort to get beyond it. Effort to make the change, effort to let go, effort to choose something different. So it's an action. It's a trade. Okay. And then it was like, you know. So one of the things that became clear to me so early in my hypnotic journey career, doing them myself as the client and then working with clients in that space, is that this idea of letting go is oftentimes we need something else to hang on to. Like if I don't want to do this one thing, I need to replace it. I have to do something else. Now, sometimes we can just stop doing something and that works. But if you've tried that and it didn't work, It's this idea of like, we need a different way of being, even if it's not an action or something like that, it's like a different way of being. And that's really what we're practicing when we're letting go. Okay. My higher self goes on. A letting go is actually a grabbing onto something else. Yes, make changes in your subconscious mind. But what that does is change your perspective and your motivation to get the things done. Okay, so what my higher self was calling out was just this idea of exercise, moving your body. I came from 15 years of being a wellness trainer, coach, consultant. So I think moving your body is very important. Every one of my clients who shows up feeling like, oh, I just feel stuck, blah, blah, blah. If I'm working with someone ongoing and they're always talking about this stuck energy, I will ask them, like, do you physically move your body? Or are you kind of like just in one position every day, not really moving much? I'm like, sometimes stuck energy is like just stuck energy. So you like move your body, you just got to get energy moving in any way that you can. And that helps. They're not moving their body. They're not even like having bowel movements on a regular basis. So moving our body is huge. But oftentimes we're told you should exercise, and it's really tied to like looking a certain way or feeling kind of some sort of moral superiority over people who don't exercise. But what it really is a connection to yourself and your earth suit. And that's such a foundation for your intuition, your self-trust. So even that little piece, having people see that moving your body is about so much more, and having them get that in a hypnosis session and have it planted in their subconscious mind, they start to see all the ways this movement practice, even if it is simply like, I'm going to turn on one song a day and for 3 minutes I'm going to dance. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot, but they start to see like, oh, this movement practice is actually making me feel like I can do things. I am doing more things. I have energy. This moving of energy in this area of my life has helped me move energy in the other areas of my life without even trying. It just feels natural. It starts in the subconscious mind. What that does is it changes our perspective, our motivation, so we can choose a better route forward through the discomfort, over the mountain, whatever it is that you're doing. So that was my higher self saying, again, you can make a decision, you can get the clarity, you can set the goal. Use hypnosis to like really clarify your perspective, your motivation, so you are dialed in and locked in. But do not forget the action it takes. And sometimes the action it takes to get what we want, sometimes that takes a little bit of shifting and letting go of identities, or shifting and letting go of old emotional patterns or old ways of seeing things. Even though the hypnosis, the mindset is incredibly important, it's where we start, we still need to follow up with that action. Doing that work in the subconscious mind first shifts our motivation completely, and it primes our mind to see even more benefits of this thing that might be a little hard that we want in our life, because ultimately it benefits us. Well, we see more benefits of it, and pretty soon we're looking forward to it. So for me, I've had a gym membership since I was 12 years old. People, 12 years old, I had a gym membership. I'm 45 as I sit here. I need daily exercise. I need it for my mental health. I look forward to it. I used to exercise early in the morning because I would dread it all day if I didn't do it early in the morning. And now I can do it whenever I want because I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, I cannot wait to get done recording this episode so I can get on the spin bike, think about whatever I want, probably plan some Instagram posts. I'll think about tomorrow, think about some things I'm training for, some things I got to do. I'll be able to think about whatever I want. It's so beautiful, and it feels so good to move my body. That's a completely different perspective that I used to have on exercise. And I've been someone who's been exercising for over 30 years. Where we start in our mind will completely change our experience, the things we want, the motivation and the energy we have to get there. How's that sound? Start letting go of some things, shift our perspective, increase our energy and motivation because of it. Let's do it. Those 3 hypnotic journeys are the next 3 episodes of this podcast. Thank you so much for being here. You can learn more about my work at seersessions.com.